Hello, I'd like to show you Rose Cottage. Rose Cottage is 5 3/4 inches wide, 8 1/2 inches tall. She has 3 signatures, and her spine is almost 1 3/4. She has a lovely tassel that matches the cover and a lot of the colors that are inside. She has a little vintage key here, which I like to think is, well, for the cottage. Now the cottage, I would say, is just outside of town on the edge of the wood. Looks like it's on a lake. It has flower gardens. And there's a lot of flora and fauna in this one. The cover is fabric with a vintage doily and a paper picture from a book. She is slightly padded and stitched around the edge. On the back is plain. Well, it's got the ruffle here too that goes all the way over the spine. Some flowers. Little more roses in here than usual, so that's why I thought Rose Cottage was a good name for her. And in keeping with the flora and fauna, I've got leaves here, flowers, pocket in front here and here, vintage lace, cross stitch fabric. It's been tea dyed. Little envelope here. It's got a pocket, the journal card, faux stamp. And this envelope is actually made from a piece of paper that I tea dyed. Some writing paper. And inside here, little journal card here as well, and in here. But I thought the colors of this paper went really well with the journal. There are, I don't think, any digitals in this one. This picture here is from a gift book, and it's been glued onto some tea-dyed cardstock and sewn around the edge. There's a vintage rose button here on the paper clip. It's actually an altar paper clip, which you'll see on the other side. This is from a gift book. Some more lace. I think that might be vintage lace. And the altar paper clip is a little journaling booklet. I had fun making that. And it has a vintage button on it. There's a lot of vintage buttons in this journal. This is from a children's book. This is also from a gift book. And there's a mother of pearl button on it. Writing space. A cluster here, ruffle with a vintage button that goes well with the colors. Went well with that, and this vintage button here. Journal card. Picture from a magazine. Book page from a vintage bird book. I'm trying to remember which book that was from. Seeing if I have it over here on my desk. I don't think I do. A journal card made from scanned artwork I did, and a little micro poem. This is from a butterfly book. This one here, which I got at a thrift store. This paper here I also got at a thrift store, and I tea-dyed it, and apparently it is for using in stamp books, for serious stamp collectors use this paper. It was unopened. It even still had the original price on it, and oh my goodness, I got it for 10% of the original price. Couldn't resist that. I like the extra thickness of it. A little ruffle here, it's silk, and vintage button, one of my full stamps I made, and a little secret writing spot here that just tucks under there like that. Journal card made from a invitation card. This vintage button almost looked like a flower, and I added some beads. This is something you would definitely see at Rose Cottage. Little journal card made from a picture from a gift book. Wrinkly paper there. A full envelope, perfect for writing on the inside and on the back. And then when it's sitting in here like this, no one would even know that there's a bunch of writing in there. Some nice tea-dyed paper for writing on. It's under the roses. This is from a rose book. It was a book that was already had pieces, pages taken out of it, so when I got hold of it from the thrift store, it makes it extra easy to dig into it knowing that it was already being taken apart. In fact, I think it's this one here I got it from. Oh, by the way, this is vintage crochet. Oh, I think it's the first time I've used some of it. It's just lovely, the patience that one would have to do that. A journal card. Page from a children's book. And this is here is from Kate Greenaway's Language of Flowers. And this one here is from that book I just showed. Put a little tab here. And what this here is some very thin fabric ironed onto some butcher's paper that had been painted with some Mod Podge. And I got that idea from one of the other junk journalers. Let me think. I'm trying to think who it was. I can't remember. Anyways, it might have been Kathy's Garden. Journaling space in here. Made from a Bible concordance that I got from a garage sale that was falling apart. I just love the quality of the paper. That's from Kate Greenaway's book. And this is from a book with all kinds of botanical pictures in it. Butterfly from the Butterfly book. Extra writing space there. This is from an address book. As always, my tags tend to be tea-dyed and blank on the back. This is from a wildflower book. I think it's from this one. This is from a magazine. I love teapots, and I think the Rose Cottage would definitely have a teapot with roses on. If you hear any noise in the background, one of my cats is bouncing around. The other one's just sitting a few inches away watching me do this, but she's not in a bounce around mood. I think she was doing all that earlier. This is from a magazine. I thought it was adorable. And I've turned this envelope into a flip and a tuck spot. In case I forget, this tassel is easily removed. It's just paper clipped on, or not paper clipped, I forget what you call that. Anyway, it's easy to remove the this tassel if you want to take it off. But as you can see, it's not in the way while you're using the book. I thought this was interesting. It was from a magazine, and it's a map of, an old map of the United Kingdom back in the Viking days, I guess. Interesting names here. And this is another altered paper clip. It's a little journaling booklet. I think it's my favorite kind to make. Because if you have a page like here where there's not really journaling space, I mean, you still could. I would, if this was mine, I would probably write like a verse that I picked for the day and maybe a little poem and or a quote or something. I'd still write on this page, but this gives some writing space in case you don't want to. Beautiful old artwork from a gift book. Butterfly to match the ribbon over here. Journaling card made from a book page, and this is the flower that I put on there from an old book I had on my desk. Vintage lace, so delicate. Little tuck spot there. Flower picture from a book. This is a picture of a flower that I took, lily flower, printed it out in black and white, sewed and made it into a journal card. Vintage button. Little cluster with mother of pearl button in the middle. Butterfly from the butterfly book. And there's from the wildflower book, that little one I showed. And this one here is from the address book. A little tuck spot there. And then it's got secret writing space underneath. It's from a magazine. I think that's from a magazine too. Oh, and I like it when I tea dye things and it doesn't come out even. And sometimes another paper that's on top will make it look like that. And oh, I just love that look. That's what old books tend to look like. This page we've got birds from a bird book, and I think it's from, yes it is, it's from this book, the vintage book. Lovely, lovely illustrations in there. And butterfly from the butterfly book. This was some coffee dyeing I did with the plastic doily. Did that on my dining room table. The plastic on top of the dining room table, of course. There's a little journal space, some fabric on here, and a mushroom fussy cut and glued on top, and sewing around there. Did a lot of sewing in this journal too, like I did in the last one. And this is from a mushroom book, vintage one, which I think is over here too. Oh, there she is. That's a vintage book as well. When I get a book for $1, $2 at the most, I find it way easier to dig into the pages. Otherwise, I have quite a few books that are just sitting untouched because, well, it feels, it's weird, but even if I only paid a little bit more for it, it somehow feels wrong to cut it up. But if it's got discard written on it or it's falling apart, I don't feel bad at all. I love this polka dot fabric. That's from a magazine, and that is too. Little writing space there. Tea-dyed wrapping paper. I have sent some of my journals that I've sold wrapped in this paper. I really like how cheerful it is. Magazine picture, some lace there from the gift book. Oh, love these vintage buttons. All the details on them. Gift book page. 2 tags. Blank on the back for journaling. Plus you can journal on here. And I saw this idea on somebody's journal to cut a picture in half, and they actually had done it on the same page, but I thought this was cool. Journaling space here, tea-dyed paper, It's got a bit of pattern on it from having been dyed on top, between layers of plastic doily. I forget how I dyed this paper. Rose pictures from that rose book that I showed you earlier. And this, so once in a while, you just have to have a nice quiet page. And I think that's vintage lace, tea-dyed paper. And I think it's that vintage paper that I have from Woodward's, which the store is not open anymore, but sure went there a lot as a kid in my hometown. Journaling card, another one. If you're new to my channel, I tend to include a lot of writing space in my journals because I'm somebody who's been journaling for, over 40 years now. I left this uncovered so that you can read about swans. I have a thing for swans. We have trumpeter swans in our valley every winter, over winter here. And I've taken a lot of pictures of them over the last decade. And here's some information about Canada goose. Last page here, you've got a tuck spot here for a card. And Rose Cottage, of course, needs to have roses. And that's from a calendar. And so is this. We've got snow right now in our garden. But I won't be surprised if it melts by the weekend. The spring is definitely approaching. She's pretty thick, but there's actually room if you want to add more to her. I read somewhere that sometimes tassels can be used to, like the person who gets the journal could take parts off of this if they want to add more embellishments to the journal. I probably wouldn't, but you know, when you get a journal, it's yours and you get to do whatever you want with it. I was excited to show this one. I just love this green and how it was in the fabric too. And then when I was putting together, after I finished it, I was putting together the tassel. I was looking at the cover for colors and I saw the blue and I went, oh, I need to put a blue ribbon. And then as soon as I put the blue ribbon on, I got rid of the neutral colored tie that I had, closure tie that I had, and put this instead because I saw, oh, blue, yes. And I think the blue and the green, they contrast nicely. Anyways, thank you for watching the flip through of Rose Cottage. Take care. Enjoy writing in your journals. Enjoy creating your own journals and watching other people's journals. Oh, it's one of my favorite things to do is watch YouTube flip throughs of journals. Take care. Bye.